Today on TrendKillRadio, we are talking the band Ghost ongoing lawsuit, new technology app, and Dave Grohl's new TV series. First up, okay, the band Ghost. Okay, they've had this long-going lawsuit with former band members, just over and pretty much just entitlement. There's really no. Yeah,
I don't know much of the history of the band.
They're from Sweden, which I didn't even know. I thought they were American, or at first I thought they were Italian because like it was they have a very Italian style background with the Pope and everything, Papa Emeritus, whatever.
Yeah, Italian makes more sense than Swedish, I would think.
Yeah, what's his nuts? Tobias Forge. He has been sued by former band members, the Nameless Ghouls, and which really that speaks a lot about.
It's a cool dynamic, but it pretty much says that like no one else in the band matters.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's good for the mystique of creating the whole like the Papa Emeritus image but yeah, as far as like a rock and roll band, it pretty much says everybody that's producing the music right now is pretty much worthless. But it's been pretty much. I don't. That's what I'm saying. I don't know the history of the band.
It is.
Is it been the consistent lineup the entire time?
No. The guys that are actually suing, they've come from different periods of time as a Nameless Ghoul.
I think isn't there one Nameless Ghoul though that's like a consistent songwriter?
I don't know, but what this says here is that Tobias is actually the one that like it's his whole brainchild. Like he came up with the whole concept. It's all his own thing, and he's the primary writer. So, like, this whole shtick and all the music is him. Is what he's basically claiming. So, and everybody else is just basically a backup band. It's really not. What he's trying to say is, I am no different than Marilyn Manson, Alice Cooper, Rob Zombie. Well, Rob Zombie, not so much now, because I think he likes all the people that he's in the band. It's like it's his name, but he's not going to get rid of John 5 anytime soon. He's not going to just interchange them like underwear. Like I would know. Like I said, you know what? Last week with Coley, you don't know what's going on down here. Jim is also pantsless. In the lawsuit that was filed in the district court of Linköping, Sweden, where Ghost was originally based, it claims that Forge solely controlled the band's business affairs without input from anyone else in the band or the group. But they basically left him to be manager, and what he's just saying is there's no legal partnership. And he says that this is my thing. None of you were here from the beginning, and you have no responsibilities except to be on stage at 8 o'clock, and you're getting paid. He just goes, there's a time for breakups, and there's a time for divorces, and that's that time. He's like, you guys came along on a ride and you're exhausted and you're not part of the fucking thing anymore, so bye.
Yeah, it's always tricky with any band, especially with this dynamic, but if you're a part of the writing process, you're part of the recording process, are you really entitled to anything? Were you actually contributing to
Get
the
closer.
whole this is terrible.
Then move the mic.
I don't have to milk my mics like this. I have that's a lot.
I know. I know.
I don't have to milk my mics like this.
I was telling Coley about this last week. You watched the show, and I was just like, man, Jim's mics are so much better. But it's like, so what do you think about this? I think that we're not drunk enough for this.
I think so too. I think that for one, I need to drink more, and
I know.
Second of all, no, it's like I was trying to get into. It's like it's really tricky when you have a group of musicians, and especially you have rotating musicians. It's like, what are they entitled to as part of the process? Especially if obviously, if you've only been a live musician and you've never written or recorded with the band, then you definitely aren't entitled to shit. But if you've actually been in the recording process or the writing process, I feel you should be entitled to something, and it just depends to what degree you're really invested in the songwriting process.
Well, yeah. Well, like I haven't delve too far into this. This article is pretty lengthy in its own right, but I'm pretty sure that these guys that are suing, like I said, they've come from different parts of Ghost history, possibly different papas to be something. I don't know what the fuck word I'm trying to think of. But there's been 3 papas and now there's a new guy. And what the fuck is his name now? Papa
Emeritus?
It's not that anymore. He changed his name. Now he just looks like some old Dago.
It is something different now. I don't remember
see,
what it
look,
is.
I'll show you a picture. Yeah, he just looks like some old fucking Guido with black eyes, like, and he wears a fedora and shit now. He just looks like some old gangster Dago. Sorry to offend any Italians out there. Wah. Wops. It's not how we roll in Cleveland. You Dago Guinea bastards. Statement explaining their original lawsuit. The musicians officially revealed their identities as Simon. I'm not reading their fucking names. It doesn't matter. It's who they are. And that's the whole point of it.
Right.
We had to go get another beer.
Oh, I need to lubricate this conversation.
This
one's a little dry.
It's going in dry.
No, it is.
I wish I like. You know what? If I knew a little bit more about Ghost or something, I think that conversation would have flowed a little bit better. I know.
Yeah, and I probably knew just as much, if not less, than you knew about Ghost going into that conversation. Right. So, next topic up, we're going to talk about this app, which I wasn't even aware of until Shawn brought it to my attention today, so I did a little digging on it. I couldn't do much digging, though, because apparently this is a paid subscription app.
This is so fucking new. Like, you guys are hearing it first right here on TrendKillRadio. And by the way, may I say, we have become slightly big enough that you no longer have to search us at TrendKillRadio 216 anymore on YouTube. You can just search TrendKillRadio. Even, I think, TrendKillRa. And our shows fucking come up now. So
we made it!
Yeah, we made it! I was so stoked. You can watch us on TV now. Like, that's pretty tit.
On the television.
I know. I was so stoked. I was like, I'm on TV! And now Jim's on TV! His son's going to be so proud one day.
Nah.
Not with this show.
Nah. Nope. Yeah.
You hit a little button on your phone and you put it up to a speaker
and it listens.
In your car or at home or on your computer or something like that, and it listens, right?
Right.
So our next fucking topic, Dave Grohl has a new show coming on.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
Thank you to our sponsor, Miller Lite. And we can keep riffing, man. This is fine. God damn! That's right, noob. He gets me. I spent a lot of goddamn time in this studio.
I put out. What do you have to say to the fans, honey?
Let me bother you.
I'm sure she can hear us, and she'll probably punch me.
Okay, I can't. All right, I can hear me now. Can you hear you?
I can hear me. I'm good.
Okay. I'm telling you right now, we missed the whole, the whole conversation, and it drives me nuts that we fucking did that. And I'm going to be the first one to fucking say that the whole era, and I know you guys can't hear what we're hearing right now, and I'll just play it. I'll splice in a couple clips because I bought so much of the music recently. Listen to that. And I'll cue them all up. This will all be synced so everybody can hear. But I'm telling you guys right now, this whole era of, I was telling him, okay, it started, rock music got super safe when Nickelback came out. And I know it's so fucking easy to blame them and just it'd be so simple.
But the problem is that they came out and then they had imitators, and then there was imitators of imitators.
Yes, they're babies.
Yes.
Okay, so like Nickelback came out, and Chad Kroeger, he signed so many bands like Saving Abel and all that stuff. And what was it? There was some band, I remember Zakk Wylde was playing, and they're in like a strip club, and Chad Kroger's there, and I'm just like, ew, it's like watching my dad at a strip club. I'm like, that's fucking gross. Whatever shit fucking band that was. But the Breaking Benjamins and the Shinedowns and the Five Finger Death Punches, like, for those of you that are old enough to remember, like, it's like the pinnacle of the 80s before grunge and industrial hit.
Absolutely.
Like, I mean, like, it was there. Dangerous Toys and Cinderella, the Poisons and the Warrants.
There were so many manufactured bands that found the formula, and it worked. And it worked for mainstream America, and they just fucking ate it. And that was the problem. And that's the same thing that's happening now with your Breaking Benjamins and your Shinedowns and things like that.
No, it's overproduced, and it's so safe, and like it's really there's nothing. Rock and roll is supposed to be dangerous, even from the times of Elvis, where I mean the cameras would not even focus on his hips because they were waving back and forth.
That's why we don't focus on our hips now on this show.
I know, because my penis is out. But like, but they just went like it's so sexual and raw and like just. Yeah, and like maybe this music we're talking about right now there's nothing really sexual about it, right? But I mean, like the reality is a danger to it.
Music is supposed to be,
rock and roll.
Music is supposed to be rock and roll is supposed to be counterculture. And when it becomes accepted as culture, it is no longer rock and roll. And that's just reality of it.
And every band that like I'm sure if there's anyone listening out of state, like if you're not listening to WMMS. I guarantee the reason why I don't download iHeartRadio is because like there's this it's the same fucking format everywhere you go. I've been to other cities and I've listened to their rock stations. It is the same shit. Like it is you will still hear just the same Nirvana. And I'm not discrediting a lot of the bands that came out 25 fucking 30 years ago. Or whatever, like that's all good and great, or whatever. Like it's time to move on. What I'm saying to the radio stations, but like the new music that they put out, it is so safe and so boring. Like Rob Zombie even made a song that said everything is boring now. He just like the verse was just a total tangent of just like it's just like you just. It sucks. Everything there's nothing interesting. There's nothing daring. There's no. The reason why there's not a new Nirvana and there's not a new Guns N' Roses, there's not a new Aerosmith or Led Zeppelin, or to a lesser extent, Limp Bizkit.
You better watch your fucking mouth, John.
But
right.
I mean, you know what? Parents, they were bothered at that time by Limp Bizkit. But there is a new music on the horizon right now, and I will play you like little clips. And with the rise of, I almost don't want to say AWOL Nation because they almost tamed down a little bit. But 21 Pilots and Emoji Dragons. Papa Roach came out with a song like they're moving on with the times, which I absolutely love because they're one of the bands. I mean, they did Gin and DJIN, and they've crossed every border. Like they just went on with the times, which they may not be recognized as one of like the most memorable bands of a lifetime, but I mean they're doing.
Yeah, I mean
they're doing fine.
It's
for
commendable
themselves.
to get into the music industry and then be able to recognize that the music industry changes and change with the industry. There's been plenty of phenomenal bands that have gotten in and struck where the iron's hot and they were inspired, but they don't know how to adapt to the changes of the climate. And it's basically like, okay, you were great in this era, you made great music, and then basically you repeated the formula and it got stale because you didn't know how to adapt.
Well, I mean, like Trent Reznor, he said the same thing about 80s music, where it's just like the birthday cake sounds amazing every time of the day. But when you eat it at breakfast, lunch, and dinner every single day, I mean, you're going to get burned out on it. And that's exactly what happened to the 80s. And grunge kind of died with Kurt Cobain, and they went on to post-grunge, and then after that was nu metal. And then, then it started to drift. Like, there was just a bland time for a while in the early 2000s, and then Nickelback came out.
I mean, if you really want to rig it back, if Kurt Cobain hadn't died, he would still be making the same music. And you got to ask yourself, would you still care if Kurt Cobain was still making music?
Thank you. And remember, say no to drugs.
Great concert, Kurt. The label's excited about your 7th album.
Thanks. Oh, you remember my wife, Courtney Love?
Who?
Oh, I know. That's why he's going to go down as, like... no pun.
Right.
But he's gonna go down like he brought up and put down grunge music.
Right.
Like he was the end all be all. Although clearly Chris Cornell was a better singer and Lane Staley was a better singer and the fucking guy from Pearl Jam was a better guitarist.
Right.
But I mean, you can't deny Nevermind. You just can't.
Absolutely not.
You can't say that. Like, I don't care how many times you've heard the fucking songs. Like, I mean, like half that album is played on the radio still till this day.
Right. They captured a moment and they fucking crafted it into something that resonates even to this day.
He did. He lit that match and then he let the house completely burn down.
Right.
When he died. It opened up a lot of opportunities for a lot of weirder shit to come out, though. Like, like Bush with the post-grunge and Everclear came out and Beck. And, there was, and Smashing Pumpkins got to thrive a little bit more. Like, that was like it was almost like, here, guys.
Right.
He gave them some kibble.
It definitely, you're right. It definitely gave the grounds for people to be more experimental with music and bring it to the mainstream, and that was accepted. And somehow along the line, we reined it back in, and people just started being more safe about it, and they started just be more formulaic about it.
I know.
And they just was like, all right, all I care about is the paycheck and what resonates with
modern day society
and just regular rock radio.
I mean, god damn, if you listen to a hip hop station or a pop station every 6 months, there's new. It's new.
Right.
You're not hearing Beyonce from Destiny's Child. You're not hearing Britney Spears "Hit Me Baby One More Time." Like, no, you're hearing brand new fucking music. When you're listening to rock music on the rock platform, which is I guarantee it's all across America, unless you're listening to an alternative station, which is indie fucking rock, or what have you. But I mean,
the reality is rap music is more rock and roll than rock is right now.
I know, it's fucking sad. I mean, rock music is no longer the number one music in America anymore. And it maintained that stature for decades, and it's no longer that. It has been replaced by hip hop rap, and pop. So I mean, we're in third place. So I mean, and we're not even in the days anymore of where you can just call up a radio station and go, I want to hear this, because guess what? You're not going to hear it. They can, even if they answer the phone or look at the email, they're not going to be playing, I'm sorry, I keep on having to say Empowerment 5000. Their last 3 albums were absolutely fantastic, but you're not going to hear it. They're not going to play it because they don't care. Because all the fucking music comes from some dude in New York. So, but what the whole point that I was trying to make, though, what I'm gonna be playing for you guys. I'm listening to this band called Grandson, and I don't know too much about them. I can get into them a little bit and give you a little bit more info at another time. But I mean, it is rock music, and the dude sings, and he kind of raps, and it's over trap beats, and I'm seeing that with Papa Roach, and I'm seeing that with 21 Pilots and Imagine Dragons. and what did I just download? Oh, Falling in Reverse has even like, I mean, they went. What kind of sound did they start off as? You know, kind of pop, post-hardcore.
Yeah, the post-hardcore with a little pop influence. Yeah.
Yeah, a little pop punk, and they've always kind of changed a little bit. And like now, this, oh my God! If you listen to the new fucking single, "Losing My Life," that just came out this morning, like it's a game changer. It's not the best song in the world. I'm not saying that, but I mean, like, this is what rock is going to be doing. Like, we've reached that pinnacle, like, in the 80s, where Five Finger Dick Punch is going to be no longer relevant. I mean, they're fading out with the times, and I'm telling you this right now, right here. You heard it first, right here on Trendkill Radio. And I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent, but I'm just so fucking tired of hearing the same goddamn bands that sound exactly the same. And even like I know our opinions differed on Godsmack's last album, but I mean you said they sounded a lot like so and so and so and so and Breaking Benjamin, and I thought they sounded a little bit more shined down, but it still was reminiscent of Godsmack. I was just happy that they got out of their fucking rut that they've been in for 20 years.
Right.
1997, that they've been making the same song pretty much.
They did something different. Unfortunately, they did something that's reminiscent of just generic today.
Yeah, but if they did this kind of style, then you would really hate it. Though, what I'm talking about with trap beats and like,
honestly,
Sully trying to kind of rhyme a little bit. I mean, we're just seeing like, if you live in Cleveland, you have no idea this is coming.
Right.
Like,
honestly, I want to hear this now. I want to hear Godsmack with trap beats. Ah! Stay low!
You should mix that. You should do that. If anyone would do, you could.
Stay low!
No, just drop this boring, safe bullshit music. Stop giving them money. Stop going to their goddamn shows. I mean, like, really, like, because what I was telling him is just like this new music has enough urban influence where like a parent would be just like, I don't know if I like you listen to that.
Right. You got to get the parents to hate it. And that's
rock and roll. Like, that's what it's supposed to be. And you can go on and go just like, and I was thinking about this to myself before I had ever mentioned this to you, and weeks and days before this. But you can go ahead, like when I first heard Grandson, the band, and I was listening to his music, although I liked it, I was thinking like, oh, is this rock and roll? And then I was just kind of thinking, I'm like, all right, you're showing your age.
It's called rocking out. You wouldn't understand, Dad. You're not with it. I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it, and what's it seems weird and scary to me. It'll happen to you.
And I went like, okay, so like you gotta put yourself in the shoes of other times and just go like, there's always been an evolution to rock and roll, and it's always reinvented itself. This is unfortunately a time where it's not in first place anymore. But what the fuck are you gonna do? But maybe it could get back to that, but it's got to reinvent itself. Like I'm sure when you were coming off the heels of bands like Bush and Everclear and stuff that were post grunge, and then all of a sudden you got Linkin Park and you got Limp Bizkit, and you're hearing this wild new fucking sound that was like none other.
I think
that just didn't sound like anything like that.
The issue is that everything that gets pushed to everyone is based on the labels, and the labels are suffering anymore, and the labels have no choice to do anything but be safe anymore.
They never learn.
They never learn. They never learn the changes, and basically they have to be safe because they are a business. They are not in the business of art. They are in the business of business, and they have to perpetuate what works until it doesn't work anymore, and until people stop acknowledging that Breaking Benjamin is not doing anything, or Shinedown or any of those bands that are doing the formula are not doing anything that is inspiring, it's just going to keep
They could be
going.
number one all they want. Like, it's still like, and they'll probably make the Rock Hall in 15 years.
Right.
And you know what? Good for them. Whatever. But I mean, they'll still never be as influential as certain bands have been.
Right, because they can't.
And this is something that we talked about with Andrew in that
yeah.
one show, where it's just like, I don't know, I'm not trying to dial it back to just
But
being
the
Beatles and Led Zeppelin, those are the only things that matter. No, there's been.
The problem is that these bands came in with a formula and they came in safe. Even when even Breaking Benjamin as the archetype came in as something that was safe.
Yeah.
And it just kept on going. And I mean, honestly, like I know you'll shit on Breaking Benjamin all day, but he's like they're talented musicians. They know how to play their instruments.
Oh no,
they
I'm
know
not
how to entertain
denying
people.
that. Yeah.
But it's not evolution. It's not safe. It's
No, it is safe. They are safe.
Yeah, they are creating the white noise, and people are accepting that white noise is what it is the standard, what is norm, and people shouldn't do that. People should always look for what is more exciting. People should look for change. People look for difference and evolution in music.
Yeah.
Right.
Branch out. Listen to new things. Don't trust. Like, find shit for yourself. Just like if you found this show, you clearly found this by yourself. Because I know goddamn well the people that are watching this aren't all our friends, because our friends do not watch this show.
Nope.
I mean, do the same thing with music.
I think that's a statement in itself, though. It's like a lot of rock vocalists. I mean, it's a lazy technique. It's a very kind of just do it. And that's the same thing that's happening with a lot of like hip hop and rap music, where you have like mumble rap and shit like that. And it kind of speaks to the times where it's like people are resonating with people that don't give a shit. And that's not a good thing.
I know. This was a tangent. But it needed to be said.
The reality is that rock was never meant to be a formula. It was a state of mind, and people basically said it is a formula, and basically just crafted this steady state.
Because the last dangerous person that I remember, without getting like too deep underground, but I mean the last mainstream person that I can kind of recall would be like Manson. He was the one that had protests outside of his show, picketing and riots, and like I mean, and bad shit going on.
Look how long ago that was. Like early 2000s?
Yeah, I mean we're talking 1999.
Yeah, like early 2000s is the last time you heard people protesting. And when's the last time you heard about anybody doing that?
No mother is standing outside of I'm so tired of even saying their fucking names. I'm just trying to think of another bland band.
You know what? It just to take a tangent from there. The problem is that since then, like, parents have been trying to be too friendly with their kids.
Yeah, I know.
You need to knock
Your
that
kids
the fuck
are assholes.
Yeah. Kids are fucking dicks.
We were dicks.
As a parent, my kid's 1 year old, and like this kid's a fucking dick. Straight up.
Your kid is not your friend.
Right.
You need to be a parent.
Like, I love him, but you got to be an asshole to that kid, and you got to tell him what is and what isn't. And you know what? If he discovers new music that I hate, good, because you know what? That's rock and roll.
I know. You know what, man? I was forced into a private school, and I got discipline, and I still got to be me and do bad things. And you know what, man? I'm still a good person. You know, and my parents were not my friends. I'll tell you that right now, man. My mom yelled at me, and so did my dad. But okay, well, that is our trend kill tangent, and you know, I'm working that into the show. I don't even care if we have to. You know, maybe I might just drop that whole Dave Grohl thing, or if I look back at that and it sounds too shitty or whatever, I'm just gonna drop it. I'll just see how it works. I'll just start putting pieces together. You know, might take me 2 days rather than the one with Coley, where it just like took me a couple minutes. This is like, I know the joke points.
I am a complex co-host. It takes some effort to actually.
See,
do that.
there's real conversation going on between he and I. Coley, you know what? That's the fun thing about our show too, because you know what? Like we're gonna be doing those updates, these updates, and you know what? I might be doing these by myself. You know, maybe Jim's got shit to do, maybe Coley's got stuff to do, and it might be more of just like a news thing, and you know, you might just learn something. I don't know. I'm not that funny by myself. I need someone to bounce off of. But Jim and I, we have intelligent conversation. Coley and I, we're funny. And when all three of us are together, well, you've seen our shows. So, I mean, it's just, it's fucking hilarious, you know, whatever. I mean, it's just enjoyable on so many, it's just on so many levels.
It's good entertainment.
Yeah.
It's good fucking entertainment.
It's
Subscribe.
It's
like.
It's like the food pyramid. I mean, there's plenty of grains and meat,
Right.
and as long there's plenty of fat, which I know is supposed to be at the top in the very tiny triangle. But there's
Colgate's the
ton of
fats
oil,
and sweets.
ton of oil.
I'm the protein.
Sugar.
I'm the fucking protein. God damn it.
I'm the fiber that keeps us together.
Right.
I keep your movements regular. Anyways, okay, thank you guys for listening to our bullshit, and we will see you soon. Thank you so much. Search Trendkill Radio on YouTube and find us at facebook.com/TrendKillRadio216. We're out. Thank you. Good night. Thank you guys so much.
It's a grassroots effort.
From both of us and Coley. God rest his soul.
The AIDS. That'll get you.
I know.